Love, laughter, and a little bit of rule breaking. This week, we're dusting off our tuxedos and we're getting ready to crash. Weddings with the comedy Wedding Crashers. Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies of the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we're diving into 2005's Wedding Crashers. But before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here's a few ways that you can.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We've got plenty more deep dives into your favorite Y2K movies coming up.
And while you're there, why not write us a review on Apple? It helps us grow, it gives us really warm fuzzies in our hearts, and it keeps the nostalgia alive for everybody. So hit us up, write a review. We'd really appreciate it.
If you want to show off your love for nostalgia, check out our No More Late Fees merch at nomorelatefees.redbubble.com. From movie-inspired designs to podcast swag, we've got something for every movie lover.
Well, this week, Jackie, we're not crashing this party alone. Joining us once again is Andrew, aka Jackie's BFF at work, here to help us relive the debauchery, the rules, and maybe a little Chaz Reinhold wisdom. Welcome back, Andrew.
Hello.
Hey.
Who knew that you'd be the Chaz of the group?
Oh, shock face, right?
Well, if you want to get to know Andrew a little bit better, make sure to check out our dodgeball episode and this week's bonus episode where we list our favorite comedy duos and hear Andrew's employee picks. All right, Jackie, tell the people what Wedding Crashers is about.
Titties. Lots of them. John
Yes.
and Jeremy are divorce mediators with a side hustle, crashing weddings to meet women. But when John falls for Claire Cleary, played by Rachel McAdams,
Worst name ever.
yeah. The daughter of a powerful politician, the game changes. Cue fake identities, family chaos, and a psychotically clingy sister, a psycho boyfriend, and one very unhinged mentor named Chaz. It stars Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, Rachel McAdams, Isla Fisher, Christopher Walken, Jane Seymour, Bradley Cooper, and Will Ferrell. It was written by Steve Farber and Bob Fisher, and it was directed by David Dobkin. You can currently rent it on Amazon. But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So, you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would get. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again,
The best would play on repeat,
5-day rental,
would watch again,
2-day rental,
okay, but nothing to write home about.
and same-day rental.
It's a stage 5 clinger. It's trash.
All right, Andrew, we'll start with you. What was your Y2K rating?
It would buy it again 1,000 times over.
Jackie?
A little blockbuster story about when this movie released on video and DVD. I had a great idea that everyone was going to dress up like Wedding Crashers, like we were going to a wedding for the release of this movie. I was the only one to dress up in a suit and tie, but I had fun. So would buy it again.
Who did you dirty like that? Who was on your shift?
I don't even remember who was on my shift. I still have the tie. It's pink. It's very cute.
Well, I own that bitch, so would buy it again. I mean, would buy it because we're talking about now, yeah. I remember going to the theater to see this. There's only a few movies that I remember just like dying laughing. It's this one and The Hangover. The Hangover,
Yeah.
you had to carry me out of that theater. I was laughing so damn hard. But I definitely loved this movie, and I really loved Vince Vaughn. Like, you couldn't tell me anything. Something about him always reminded me of my dad. I don't know if it was just like his height and just his playfulness or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's been quite the
think
disappointment lately. So
agreed.
yeah,
I think I can see it. I think because Greg kind of was like, he thought quick on his feet and could kind of like rebuttal and stuff like that. I very much
you could see it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of going to the theaters, Mom took me, Heather, Nick, and Liz to see this movie. So imagine Miss Terry in a in a movie with boobies about banging women.
A lot of boobies.
Honestly, I don't think that's that weird. Your mom saw so many movies with us. Like,
I think Nick and Liz were the catalyst, like they
were uncomfortable.
Well, I think we just walked out and we all just we all thoroughly enjoyed the movie, but we didn't talk about it. We were just like a little uncomfy the whole time. But yeah, that was my fond memory of going to see Wedding Crashers in California.
Well, we weren't alone in seeing it. The movie had a budget of $40 million and it made over $288.5 million in revenue, which crazy. People did talk about the budget though being pretty inflated. Like a 40 million was a lot to make this.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently this movie was kind of like, I don't want to say Trojan horse, but it definitely was under the radar. People didn't really see it coming. So
I feel like this was one of those movies where I'd like to see the box office like progression of it, because I feel like it was probably came out
word of mouth.
Yeah, and then it was word of mouth and then repeat seeing it in the theater because it was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
That probably got them that gross.
Yeah. Well, Lil Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 2 stars out of 4, although he wrote that there are individual moments that are very funny. He added that the director, David Dobkin, has too much else on his mind.
I will say, and it's not because I have a bias against Will Ferrell, but the whole like montage of John going to Chaz and all of that, like I feel like that could have been lifted out, and the catalyst for John going back to Jeremy could have been something else, and we would have saved like 20 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
It was a little long.
I remember when I first saw it and thinking the Chaz character was kind of funny. Like, this is a turn. Y'all are going to funerals now. That's wild. Mm-hmm. So I think they could have shortened it. Like, literally, he didn't need to go to multiple ones. He could have just went to one funeral.
He could have just
like, it could have been a phone call.
Yeah, stopped by Chaz's house. Still gotten the Ken claims the best line of the movie, the mom meatloaf. And Chaz could have just talked about how
all the time. I will say that till I die.
And Chaz could have just talked about now he's moved on to funerals, and John could have been like, nope, I'm out. You know, like it didn't have to be funeral scenes. But other than that, I am having a really hard time. Well, since Baps, I've been a little leery of Lil Raj's judgment.
Yeah.
After the Mission Impossible episode where he gave it like 3 out of 4 stars, it was like best thing ever. But this movie, he gave 2 stars. I don't understand.
I don't know. I have to go back and see, like, does he have like this elitist thought process? Like, some things are too lowbrow, because I could see him thinking Baps was lowbrow or this was lowbrow, you know, but Baps was definitely ridiculous because 0 stars. We'll forever, like, this will never die. Yeah. I forever have beef with Roger Ebert for giving Baps 0 stars. That's the shirt. Print it.
Yes. Well, before we get into the cast and crew, let's hear a message from our pod pals.
What's up? I'm E, former Little Lebowski urban achiever.
And I'm McGee, the man behind the lens of all your favorite perfume commercials.
And you're tuned in to Make Me Watch.
It's a podcast where 2 failed filmmakers force one another to have a conversation about a movie, whether they like it or not.
Or if you've never seen the film, bet neither have one of us. You can still follow along our exit interview where we ask the titular question, Why did you make me watch this?
As we try to convince each other, you, and maybe ourselves as to why we needed to see this.
And in every episode with, what are you going to make me watch next week?
Catch us Fridays wherever you get your podcast.
Make me watch.
Where we're going, you don't need headphones.
I liked it.
All right. Cast and crew. Any surprise that Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson were the first actors cast in the film?
I'm surprised that maybe we do have a fact, I don't know, that these roles weren't written for them.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like they were.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Owen Wilson literally plays the same person every time.
Yeah.
The range.
I'm going to bring up Stick for like the 6th episode in a row, but like
I love that show.
John, the character of John could have been like he married Claire and divorced her and now he's Stick. Like it's the same exact role.
And he also played that other movie, Dilbert, where he like is with kids.
Drillbit Taylor?
Drillbit Taylor?
Yeah, that sounds about the same.
Dilbert.
Drillbit. I don't know.
I mean, the same argument could be made about Vince Vaughn, though. Like, he's that same just kind of shoot from the hip guy.
Yeah.
But I just watched like, I've been boycotting Oh Boy for a while because I've been mad with him. He knows why. But I did give it a break for a second because I watched Nona's on Netflix, and that was such a good movie.
Yeah.
Is he still playing the same version of himself? Yes. But the movie had a lot of heart, and I really liked it.
Wholesome.
Yeah. But I think the difference is that, yes, he plays the same character, but he's so fucking funny every time.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't miss, while Owen Wilson is just like, okay, I don't care. Like, he doesn't make me laugh. His relationship with his comedy person, his duo, whenever he's in it, cracks me up.
Yeah.
And just like the way he says things, the cadence of his voice sometimes will get me. Other than that, what else we got, Jackie?
Dobkin cast Bradley Cooper without even watching his audition tape, as he was so impressed by the actor's test reading. I believe this is the first movie I saw Bradley Cooper in.
I first saw Bradley Cooper in Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yep. Yeah.
That was the first time I saw him. Second time that like I actually paid attention, because like even I can go back now and be like, oh, I remember him, but he didn't leave like an impression where I was like, oh, I got to see this guy again. But when he was in Alias, that's when I truly discovered him. All back to Jennifer Garner. Every road leads back to her.
There. Isla Fisher, then a relatively unknown actress in the U.S., was cast as Gloria over Shannon Elizabeth and Anna Paquin. There is no other actress I ever want to see play Gloria ever. She was so perfect.
She was. Anna Paquin feels too young. Is that? But it feels too young, but I feel like she was probably the same age as Rachel McAdams. Oh, wait, no, Rachel McAdams was older. Never mind. But yeah. But you're right. She was perfect.
I don't think it could have been Anna Paquin, because it would just been weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anna Paquin, God bless her, she does a horrible American accent. She tries so hard, but I can still hear it.
Bill.
I think doing a Southern accent isn't so bad for British people, though.
Yeah, I think it's easier. It's easier to grab onto the nuances.
I could be wrong. The casting of Secretary Cleary was a contentious issue between the director and the execs. Apparently, Dobkin wanted to cast Christopher Walken, but New Line wanted a more comedic actor, such as Burt Reynolds, and instead of Walken. It's crazy, like, how so many actors, like, because I think older male actors especially, they transition into, like, from maybe their whole life, their younger career, they were doing a lot of dramatic, like Leslie Nielsen, for example. You see him in black and white movies. He was like the rugged, handsome guy. He was in a Tammy in the Bachelor movie, by the way. And then transition into like Naked Gun kind of movies where he's doing comedy. So like a younger audience, that's how they know him and have no idea. And so like for us, seeing Christopher Walken in comedy makes sense because we grew up kind of watching the transition happen, you know? So I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I can't even think of another actor in that like age range. I guess because Gene Hackman was in Heartbreakers and he was so funny in that, like I could have seen him in that role. Maybe a Richard Gere if you wanted to go more like debonair.
Yeah, but I don't think at that age Richard Gere was playing like the dad role yet. Which is so funny because a male can go a long time before he's playing the dad role, while a female is 36 and they're playing, or 34 and they're playing the mom. It's like, what? What else you got?
Nicolas Cage was considered for the role of Chaz Reinhold, but before Will Ferrell got the part.
That would have actually been, like, as much as I love Will Ferrell, Nicolas Cage, that would have been hilarious. What do you think, Andrew?
Feel like that character would have just been so much more extreme. Like all I can see is like just Cage just start yelling for no reason. But like it's like almost like a I'm crazy yell.
Can you hear him saying the meatloaf line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meatloaf. It's just he does that eye pop thing. Now I kind of want to see it.
Well, I think for me, what took me out of the movie is like in their own ways, you could find Vince Vaughn and John or Owen Wilson like attractive going to these weddings and picking up these one night stands. Will Ferrell to me is not attractive at all, and it has nothing to do with my lack of affection for him. I just don't find him attractive. So to see him go and pick up like these super hot women, like I just don't see. It's not believable. But I could believe a Nick Cage at that time picking up these women.
Yeah.
Well, the whole premise of him having like these sets of rules and stuff, I could definitely see Nick Cage probably has those in real life. Like, oh, you know. Rule 42, don't talk to the Nick Cage.
Well, the role of Claire was the final role to be cast, and the director auditioned over 200 actresses before casting Rachel McAdams. That's a lot. And I appreciate IMDb this time around not listing all 200 of the actresses. My God. We have movies sometimes and it's just like a list. It's just like somebody was throwing a dart at anybody who was an actress at the time, making no sense.
I like Rachel McAdams in this movie. And I think she plays off of Isla so well. Like they were very believable as sisters and kind of what, Danielle?
Sorry. Yes, they were believable as sisters, but did you notice, Jackie, that Rachel McAdams had black hair?
Mm-hmm.
Isla had red hair, and their sister in the movie who's getting married has blonde hair.
Yeah.
It just clicked to me for the very first time rewatching this movie that they did the hair diversity in this movie. Which, like, okay, Isla having red hair, these are sisters. Like, and I can understand maybe that they, you know, sisters will color their hair. They don't all have the same hair color, but like, usually we don't see the sisters all having different hair color when we're doing color diversity in the hair. And also, it would have made, I think, more sense if Rachel was blonde and the other sister was blonde and then they had a redhead because those are all recessive genes.
Yeah.
Look at me trying to logically make sense of all of this. But I do think that they made Rachel have her natural brunette hair maybe darker. I think it looks a little bit darker is because of Owen having his blonde hair. And you notice they never really try to have two blondes as love interests. Why?
Yeah.
At the Italian wedding, the guy sitting next to Owen Wilson, who laughed at the jabroni joke, which I wrote down because I wrote down so many just quotes. That's what all my notes are, is just quotes. Was actually his uncle, which I didn't know.
When I looked at him, I was like, is that Joe DiMaggio? Who is that man? And why does he look so familiar? And now I know why, because he's Owen's
Yeah.
uncle and he looks like it.
I was wondering why they made like such a point to show that guy too, because he was like
Yeah.
center frame with him. And I'm like, huh, like that's gotta be somebody.
I really was like, is that Joe DiMaggio? Like, even though logically I was like, I think he's been dead. So
Jane Seymour was called in 3 times to audition for the role of Kathleen Cleary. Reportedly, she beat out many, many actresses in their 50s and early 60s, and in their 50s and early 60s, also auditioning for the role of Mrs. Cleary. Okay, I will say, with the exception of Will Ferrell, this movie was perfectly cast. Like,
yeah.
I cannot find Jane Seymour, perfect.
She's awesome.
Grandma, perfect. Christopher Walken, perfect.
I would have changed Owen Wilson. I know, like,
well, funny you say that, because Will Ferrell was offered that role and he turned it down for Chaz.
I don't see that either. Because, like, what's crazy to me is every time I saw this movie, I had to say, could he win Rachel McAdams? And I was like, nah. And then they had the audacity to be in another movie together and say, bitch, I could pull her twice. Hated that. And in a Woody Allen movie. Before we get into the movie, let's talk about like how this movie came to be. Why? Okay. So Andrew Panay, who is the co-producer of this movie, he had an idea. He was like, I have an idea for a movie. It was based on his own experiences of being excited to attend weddings when he was in his 20s due to the prospect of meeting women. So much of the film was based upon his experiences in college as an intern in DC, where he would make up fake backstories to crash lobbyist events for the free food and, again, women. So Panay and Fisher's experiences merged together to form the idea of the film. So Fisher with him being a college intern at the DC events and Panay trying to get Punan. So that's how we
love that segue.
Put it on a shirt.
And then the screenwriters, after getting this golden ticket idea, brand new, nobody ever heard of this, the screenwriters, they had doubts on the premise. They didn't know if it could be sustained into an entire feature-length film. So they decided to add female love interest born from a political family a la the Kennedys. And Panay also wanted to explore male friendship through this crazy idea of crashing weddings. So that's how that all came together. So again, you hear 2 wackadoodle guys like, let's talk about how we get laid at going to weddings and crashing. The writer saying, okay, we have to add some more things to it because it's not a sell. And then the marketing department at New Line was like, we have concerns about how to sell this movie regarding the protagonists and how they're misogynistic. Yeah, because their entire goal is how to seduce women at weddings and have sex with them. So the director saw these characters in a different light, though. He was like, they love weddings authentically. They like the free food, they like the music, they like the bands, and they like the dancing and the children and the grandparents, all these things. That's why they do this. It's, the women are just like
a cake.
A happy meal at the end of this. So it's not misogynistic. And in fact, what it's doing is replicating a real seduction, which is, I want to go to bed with you, but I have all these walls up. Can you make me laugh, make me attracted to you, and find a way to make this really fun so we could get to the good part? That's a seduction. Sir? Hello? No. What are you talking about? That's a seduction.
Okay, hear me out. Because as I was watching like the first montage of the movie where they're going to all the weddings and like talking to the people and the dancing and the cake and then the women, I was like, I can't be mad at them. Like they're just going, A lot of these women were probably doing the same thing. Should they have lied about who they were? No, but also they're crashing weddings, so they can't be truthful about who they are. I was like, as much as I'm like, am I the problem in this situation? Because I was like, good on them.
The woman who doesn't like The Notebook, thinking it's totally fine for these men to go to weddings to scam on women and doesn't see the problem. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And it adds to my evidence that I've been building my case that Jackie, I don't know how you are married because clearly your mind is for the streets. Just saying.
Well,
I could get behind it. I could get behind what they're doing, but that's just I love weddings, so I would absolutely crash a wedding. But I'm the guy who's crashing specifically so I can dance because I just cutting up a rug. That's the best.
It is the best time to dance because club culture is dead, as we know. So the only time you could really just like get in and have some fun is a wedding.
Let your freak flag fly.
Yeah.
But you can't let it fly too much. Like at a family function, my grandma's still watching me. At
Grandma, turn your head. You just gotta turn away.
At my aunt's 102 birthday, at one point we finally got the DJ to play like 2000s music, and I dropped it like it was hot, and I noticed that my tongue was out, and I was like, and it was a problem because I was like, ooh, I'm not supposed to be. I wasn't supposed to do that here. People aren't supposed to know I can do that. Even though my mom was popping a leg with slits on the side of her skirt and
get it, Christine.
She was having a time. Brandon was like, should we get mom? Like, I was like, no, she needs this.
Let her have her fun. Okay, so should we get into we've already started talking about it. The premise is not that hard to follow.
No. I was disappointed that they didn't go to a black wedding. A black and a Mexican wedding.
Yes.
That I would love to see.
Yes. We need a Wedding Crashers part 2.
Maybe it should be women this time.
Ooh,
women
I like it.
Doing Wedding Crashers. And they just make like cameos.
I just had a vision of like Kiki Palmer and like Tarji P. Henson like being the Wedding Crashers in Wedding Crashers 2.
I love Taraji, but her and Kiki are two different age ranges. I would need someone. I think Kiki would be right, but it needs somebody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So the first scene is we see John and Jeremy. They're mediators at a divorce hearing discussion. I don't know. And that is Dwight Yoakam, is it not?
Yeah. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Quoted to this day. And then Rebecca De Mornay, who, like, if you didn't grow up knowing who that was, she was like...
She was that bitch.
She was that bitch. She was hot. She was spicy. She was doing, like, the hand that rocks the cradle rolls. Like... You can fuck with Rebecca De Mornay. So, like, to have her in this movie now, like, a divorcee, and, like, she has to take her pills to deal with her soon-to-be ex-husband. Fantastic. But we see John and Jeremy's banter, and it's classic Vince Vaughn manic to the point where you're just like, okay, I agree, so you stop talking.
Can you just stop talking?
Yeah. But
I love how they're like, you can throw some miles our way too if you want. Like, sir.
I legit wrote 2 things down about that opening scene. The first one, I'm like, is Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn the best duo at riffing? Just like riffing. Because I like almost feel like that whole thing was improvised. Like Vince Vaughn going at it.
Yeah. I feel like the best riffing has to be like Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
Those two, or even Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, like
yeah.
They could do an entire movie without a script. I feel like
Well, and then we get like the movies now. I'm sure they did some back in the 90s, but like This Is the End, where like they just had scene plot points that needed to happen and the whole movie is improvised. And the shit that comes out of that, genius.
We're gonna let these funny people just be funny for an hour and a half.
Exactly. Let's just let them go, see what happens. Also in this scene, or somewhere around this time, we find out like John's parents died when he was younger, so Jeremy has been his best friend since they were like in 4th grade or something, and so he always sleeps at his house for his birthday because he promised him he would never spend a birthday alone. So you see that they've been friends for a very long time and consider themselves essentially brothers.
I just want to say that Jeremy is a way better friend. Hands down. Kind of think what's his face is a shitty friend.
John, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could tell he's like, I feel like the whole thing, and they kind of downplay, is John's like going through like a midlife crisis. For sure.
That feels right.
Because he definitely is shitty, but is it like one of those like, I'm being selfish because I kind of don't know my identity? Love wedding season, don't get me wrong. But is there more to life?
Yeah. And we just don't get that. Like, we don't hear from Jeremy like, yo, you're going through something, my boy. Like, we don't have that reference point. So if I'm just looking at face value, I'm just like, why is Jeremy putting up with this shit?
Yeah. Jeremy just wants to go live his best life and dance and bed women.
Yeah.
It's wedding season. And so we also get the like,
you see it. Just the quotes from this movie.
It's so good. I had said something to Nick on Instagram and he sent me the erroneous.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, I just watched that so still relevant 20 years later.
Yeah.
That's my word for this week, by the way. I'm gonna slip that in somewhere.
Excellent.
At work.
Challenge extended, tomorrow's morning meeting.
Ooh, erroneous.
Erroneous.
Do I have to like exclaim it to the gods like you did?
Yes.
Erroneous. Erroneous.
Look at y'all plotting on national television about what you're doing at work.
Oh man.
So we get a montage, a very lengthy montage of all of these weddings that they're going to. And I like this scene or this series of scenes because it ramps up slow. You kind of see their process. They go in, they have characters, they talk about who they're going to be, what their jobs are and stuff. They pick their target, and then like it ramps up to the shout end of the montage where it's wedding scenes cut between like women just falling on beds.
Yeah, I have a question. Is Shout a wedding song?
Yes.
For the whites? I know. Just asking.
My question was going to be, is it the best wedding song?
Hold on. Let me.
That's hilarious.
Because it's not for us.
Really?
Hold on. Like, I have to call Nick about this question because I need like his answer in real time.
I legitimately don't think I've been to a wedding that hasn't played that song.
Have you been to a black wedding, Andrew?
Yes.
Were they both black?
No, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. Okay, that's fair. That is a fair question.
Then you have not. Well, I mean, was the white woman black?
Yeah. No, the woman was white.
Okay, there.
I think now I'm thinking about it. She is very controlling, and I guarantee that was a curated playlist.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been to a black wedding that plays Shout. I mean, it's not that we don't love the song, but it's just not a part of our wedding list.
That's fair.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we have all the line dances, like electric slide is definitely a wobble might be thrown out there. Now that damn boots on the ground, I won't escape it for the rest of my life. But yeah, no Shout in rotation. Yeah, that's wild.
We all get down. You get down real low to the floor. When you get a little bit quieter and you come up, you get a little bit louder now.
Okay, Danielle, Can
Nick?
I don't know if he can hear you. Okay, so Nick, Danielle, you can't hear Danielle, but her question was
Danielle, which is probably actually for the best.
So
saying, I'm sure I'm going to roll my eyes.
So she asked, is Shout a song that is played at weddings?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's not what I asked.
Oh, at white weddings. Sorry.
That could be my answer. Is like Shout is 100% a white person wedding thing. The guitarist of the band. So it's okay. Like back it up. So I did Shout at a bunch of white weddings that I've been to. Like I don't know. I distinctly remembered at my uncle's wedding. It's kind of a white wedding staple. And so we had the live band that played at our wedding. We said, like, here's a request of like play some Steely Dan for my uncle. You got to play Hanson for Sarah and her mom, and you got to play Shout. And the guitarist, Dave, later he said that playing Shout at my wedding was like a religious experience.
What?
Because of the way the crowd responded to Shout, to the extent that even like when they're doing like the little bit softer and like everybody in the band is like getting lower and lower and they're getting down low, like playing their instruments while sitting on the stage as low as they can, and everybody got lower with them. And then as they started to get louder, everybody got loud. Like they're literally moving the audience with their bodies and music. And he was like, it was the coolest. It was the coolest thing. So yeah, Shout is a white wedding experience. 100%.
And the Chivers will flood the floor when it comes on. You just get that first note and they are there.
That first like vocal, like, way.
I wish Nick could hear me because
drop the one more sip of your beer, one more sip of your Coors Light, and then go run it.
Wow, I love when you guys teach me about your culture because I don't always know. This is new to me. I've been to white weddings. I see it happening and I'm like, okay, that's cool, fun. But now I'm starting to realize in movies and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is a legit thing that's happening. Okay.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. I love that for y'all. Like, honestly, no hate. I just was curious. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm realizing this is a bigger thing than I had thought. And we that is not at we do not play that at our weddings.
Although I'm wondering, I think Shout, now this is just me spitballing here. This is not anthropological. Don't quote me on this, but I wonder if Shout ties back to the movie Animal House with John Belushi.
Probably.
With one of the Belushis.
Yeah.
Well,
wild.
Very wild. Thank you for this.
I guess I grew up watching Animal House, so we're all doing the toga party. Shout.
Well, thank you for breaking down Shout. I knew I had an expert that I could call, and you can go back to splitting wood now.
Well,
thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
He was absolutely right. I looked it up. It became widely popular to play at weddings after Animal House came out.
Oh, look at that. Bring in the facts. Excellent. Okay. Where were we? Okay. So now. Sorry.
So we see the naked tatas and the Shout montage. We see them going to the weddings, having a great time. And then we realize wedding season is essentially over. It's funny because you also see them having things in the bed with women, and John really doesn't do, like, he's not even trying at this point. He doesn't remember the girl's name. She gets up and she's gone. It's
like whatever.
But then the next day we see John and Jeremy like talking because Jeremy's like, let's do this one last wedding. He's like, I thought wedding season was over. And it turns out it's like the head of the treasury or something like that.
Secretary of Treasury, yeah.
Secretary of Treasury. And so this is a little bit harder for them, and they decide, okay, we're going to crash this wedding. And they do. They go to the wedding. And then you can see their process, how they're scanning in the church, scanning for who they're going to like target. You see that in the like in the beginning too, but now they're at this church and they both go for the bridesmaids in this wedding, which is like, okay, you knew this is a high profile wedding and there's a lot, the stakes are much higher, and y'all are like, oh, we're just gonna go straight for
family.
Yeah.
And Claire catches John's eye because the vows are so cringy. She just like can't stop laughing. And I was like,
I was trying to understand the order, if Claire was the youngest or if Crazy Eyes was.
I
wasn't
like
sure.
Claire's the middle.
Yeah.
So I think the oldest was getting married, and then Claire was supposed to be next, and then Gloria, from the fit she threw on the wedding floor, I'm assuming she's the youngest.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so yeah, we see the reception is held like outside next to an estate, and Claire's kind of rearranging the gift table, and John comes up and just starts like guessing what's in the gifts, and that's how he gets her.
Yeah, I think one thing about Claire is she feels a connection with John, but she's also very indecisive. You could tell like she just doesn't know what she wants in life, whether she wants to take the path of what she's supposed to do. And she does have an attraction to John. And I think the only reason that is, or one of the main factors, is that he is just such the polar opposite of her current boyfriend, him being so controlling and just like an asshole, while John, on the other hand, seems legitimately interested of like what she likes. He's much calmer. He like likes her, that she could see. But also in the same breath, I feel like there's no character development with her whatsoever. She's so easy to get. So easy to get, like not a problem. This bitch is in a full ass relationship and still easy to get.
And yeah, because she spends almost like in the entire first half of the reception just like talking to John about stuff like her speech, her bride or maid of honor speech she's going to give, like this stuff you would typically talk to your boyfriend about. And granted, her boyfriend is Sack and probably doesn't listen to a goddamn thing she says, but I'm like, ma'am, you are promised to another right now. Like, I feel like these intimate conversations are pretty inappropriate at this point.
Well, yeah, she was very flirtatious, so she does give off like she's interested. So he's flabbergasted when he finds out that she has a boyfriend. And something about her, like John is not giving up. He don't give a damn. Now, Jeremy, on the other hand, he has met Gloria. He is loving it. She is all over him like white on rice. And at first he's like really having a good time. The scene where they're on the dance floor and he literally lifts her like on her shoulder like she's a Polly Pocket, crazy.
Just the visual hilarity of the size difference between the two is fantastic. I like, aside from Isla Fisher being the perfect Gloria, like you couldn't have asked for a better like visual representation of like the nuttiness that is that couple. And and I love Gloria because she does what John and Jeremy do at weddings. She tells the man what he wants to hear. She bones him on the beach, says she's a virgin. Jeremy thinks he's conquered, like found this conquest, is all proud of himself, and then later on, a couple scenes later, she's like, "Oh no, I just said that because that's what guys like to hear."
Well, he gets really he gets really nervous because this is where he's like, she's a stage 5
clinger.
Stage 5 clinger. Yeah. Because when they have the sex on the beach,
She has to say things in a certain way because Nana's around.
That's fair.
She like says, I'm a virgin. I'm so glad you were my first time. And she just sounds psychotic. And he's
Yes.
like, oh, hell no. So he goes to John and says, look, I got a stage 5 clinger. We got to go. And I'm sure this is in the rules. But John is like, nah, I've got to go and try to be with this girl who's giving me crumbs, who's got a boyfriend, and that we're at her family's wedding that we lied to get into, and her dad is the secretary of treasury. Like, I don't know how he got out of this. I don't.
The fact that they didn't have Secret Service around or any security.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, like their whole like process of like they have their steps, but like they've never been caught. Like, oh, I'm Uncle Jim's kid, you know,
Yeah.
like
that would not have worked in my family because, and you know what it is though? I do notice that in Black families, we have a million cousins and we know that our cousins, like, but in white families, I don't know if it's because of like, especially if you're more Americanized and you're not from like a family from another country, the nuclear family is like such a big thing. And so you really do have like your siblings, and you may have like an uncle who's the sibling of your parents, and that's it. And for some reason, there's some breakdown in the relationship where it's like, we don't talk to them or something. Because I will always ask, like, if I'm dating a white guy, I'm like, oh, what's your family look like? And it's like 5 people, hands down. And I'm like, really? I got like 50 in one group.
I think it's a lot harder for some reason for us to get all of our family members together.
Yeah.
And I know growing up, and I believe it was a proximity thing because most of Mom's cousins lived in California or Nevada, so it was easy for like us to see people.
Yeah,
because
when you went there.
If we didn't have that proximity, then I wouldn't know my extended family as much. But my cousins and I all grew up together just because we all lived in the same like Tri-City area.
Yeah. And Black people have, especially Southern Black families, we have family reunions. I really think that the everything that happened with slavery makes us work harder to stay connected and to make sure that we know our roots.
Yeah.
You know, when that's ripped away from you, to be able to go back far, I treasure it, you know, and you make it more of an effort. And so like Black Southern reunions were like a huge thing. People would go back to wherever down south where their family's from, and they would have t-shirts and you would have family trees, and everybody would know. You would meet all the cousins that maybe you haven't seen or whatever. And
that makes sense.
That was like a big thing. And it still is in our culture.
Yeah.
As for Jamaicans, it's a little bit different. My family just knows each other.
Andrew, do you know your extended family?
Yeah, on my mom's side, but they're all up in New England, so like New Hampshire and Maine. So I don't get to, it's like a proximity thing, like you said. Like I don't see them a ton. We used to go up all the time, so it was like super connected. But as I've noticed, as everybody's gotten older, it's just been, gotten separated.
Yeah. I think people just have to make more of an effort. My cousins and I were talking about doing like an annual Zoom or doing a cousins retreat or something, because there's so many of us didn't grow up with each other now. Like there's a gap. And so we're looking at our elders and we're like, okay, when they pass away, if we don't do something, like then we really won't know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had during COVID, I actually spent a lot of time with my cousins. Every Saturday night, we would have a family Zoom chat, and we would just like everyone would get beers and like sit out on the patio and just kind of hang out and joke and stuff. It was very lovely. And then I even like I would make up games where like I would create questions of like, who do you think was Grandpa's favorite and stuff, and then I would read off like majority rules answers. So that was super fun. Like, so, and then as soon as like the quarantine restrictions were lifted, it was like everyone kind of resumed
back to life. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. When we had COVID, because we couldn't have Thanksgiving together, we did a Zoom with the family, and then we broke out into different rooms. So we broke out into rooms by different families. So like Nana, me, my mom, and my uncle, like we were in one room. And then we switched where it was like all the siblings, all of my grandma and her siblings, and the first generation cousins were in one room. And then my generation was in another, which was really cool. So like, and we really thought, oh, we're gonna do this all the time. And then COVID went away. We're like,
we're like,
peace
this
out,
is so
homies.
great.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun. And it's like, no, I'm going to the movies. Sorry, I can't hop on tonight. Well, so John and Jeremy somehow con their way into like this weekend. It's not in the Hamptons, but like that's what it felt like. Weekend in Maryland somewhere.
Yeah, like the shore on the Cape or something. I don't.
And so it's like the family home. It's on the water.
I'm thinking like, okay, so if they're in DC, has to be somewhere like, I don't know how far Martha's Vineyard is, but something like that, it feels like.
So I thought it was like Annapolis, which is like right on the water, a lot of waterways, a lot of like really old, beautiful homes.
Yeah, okay, that makes
sense. Yeah. And like, and it seems like they had to take a sailboat to get there.
Yeah. But I guess it's dependent on like where the wedding was.
Yeah.
You can kind of do that because it's like the Bay Area.
Yeah, so because John won't give up, being able to see Claire, Gloria invites Jeremy to go to the family estate with everybody. And he's like, nah, I gotta wake up early in the morning. I got things to do. And John's like, that's a great idea. Let's do it. So then we see Gloria go to her dad and be like, you could see that you don't hear anything, but you just see her asking, and her dad's like, no, like, who the fuck are these dudes? And she like has a full-on tantrum like a child. She holds her breath, she stomps. It's wild. And during this time, Jeremy's like, bitch, John, I am not staying here. We have to go. Like, this crazy girl is nuts. And the dad doesn't like me because of my dancing skills. I know it. I hate that John gaslights Jeremy all the time. He's like, it's not that bad. It's not that serious. Oh, he didn't even see you dancing. Whatever. He's like, so he pushes him to go to this place. They don't even have clothes. And he's like, oh, no problem. I find it really unrealistic that someone at the stature and build of Vince Vaughn, they would just have clothes for him at their house.
That's what I thought. I thought when they panned out, because it's like a medium shot when they like are dressed in like their Hamptons best. And I thought they were gonna like pull out, and he was gonna be like, his pants were gonna be like too short or something like that. And instead they're just like the funny like patchwork pants. And I was just like, well, that was a missed opportunity, because everything should have been ill-fitting on him.
What's crazy about that outfit too is those were the clothes that they gave them to play football in.
Yes.
Like they were going out there specifically to play football, and they're in cardigans and sweaters.
And in future scenes, they're wearing like regular clothes. I'm like, did they find clothes later? Because my assumption was like, oh, we just have like this dresser or closet full of like extra clothes, have at it. So the boys would have chosen their own wardrobe. But it didn't seem like that, because everyone else, I mean, Sack was in like a rugby kit.
I wrote that down. I don't know what he was wearing. It was like, I'm gonna wear like an old school rugby jersey with like the knee-length basketball shorts, some soccer like.
It was not what you wore to play rugby, Andrew?
No.
It was hard to believe.
Shorter.
It was hard to believe that he could knock out Vince Vaughn like that. Like
Yes.
Bradley Cooper is not that big.
No.
Just my whole experience watching him during that flag football game, or I guess touch football game. I don't know what drugs he was on, because the man was crawling on the ground. I go, and what is happening?
He was very committed to this role for sure. And so he's beating the crap out of Jeremy. John's just like flirting, not giving a damn with Claire. And like
Brother's back on the ground again.
It's just like, I can't breathe.
Like, stop playing around. He's like, if I had more energy, I'd kill you.
And then he like legit has like his knee is sliced open from all of this attacking from Sack. And so Gloria takes him upstairs. Danielle, how did you feel about sex on the toilet?
But they weren't having sex.
He wanted to. She had no panties on.
She wanted to, but he just I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know.
So this time watching it was, I think, the first time I've ever seen the uncorked version. So the bathroom scene was longer than I remember. So that was, I'm like, it felt like watching this movie for the first time. And the
what
scenes
happened?
that they cut out, well, like the butler like walks by with the door open, and then he like stops and like comes back around and like catches them, and she's like, oh, like, don't tell anyone. It's like, mum's the word, but probably be more discreet, and like closes the door as she's on top of him.
I saw that like, part.
What is happening?
Was that not in the original?
I don't think so.
Oh, so maybe I did watch the uncorked version, because he does do that. I know you were talking about like you didn't know who that man was. He's clearly their butler.
Well, we didn't know what his title
title was.
Yeah. I'm guessing butler, essentially.
Yeah.
And I love that he has an island accent. And
this is where like Gloria goes like full crazy.
Yeah.
And she's just like, if Jeremy says the wrong thing, she's squirting alcohol in his cut. He's very vulnerable with his pants down, sitting on the toilet. She's straddling him. And that's this is also where we get the I'll find you.
I say that all the time.
Creepy.
I feel like as a Cancer, that is our mom. Like, we can hate people and leave them, but if we decide to imprint on you and like you, you can't ever leave us. Ever.
It's just her crazy. It just is such a switch when she just like stops his leg. Like, oh my god.
And she gets so like little about it.
Yeah. Poor Vince Vaughn. Poor Jeremy.
And he's like terrified of this little tiny woman.
And somehow it gets worse that evening.
Oh my god.
So we're at dinner. I don't even know what was going on with John and Claire.
Was that the dinner with the eye drops?
Yes.
All right. Let me describe this dinner real quick. We're at dinner. We got grandma down at the end, who is the grandma from The Wedding Singer.
Yes.
And I love that the dad calls her mommy. And we've got the mom. What's Jane Seymour's name in this? Kathleen.
Cat. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. Oh my god. Yeah, that uncorked.
Okay.
Oh.
So okay, so you have the senator. He's calling his mom mommy. Then you've got Kathleen, her drunk ass. She's like over
Gin
it.
and tonic.
And then you've got the crazy ass brother who is Todd, which we learn about Todd from the dad's perspective, that he's like, look, I don't know what's going on with him. We have had the same advantages and he hates me and I don't know what to do to make better. He wants to do art. I don't think it's good. You know, like a whole
question. Was Todd the inspiration for Gru from Despicable Me?
He looks like he's dressed like him.
Even with
He
the
really
stripy scarf and
I
the
was to say the
hair
scarf.
and then the pointy nose, I was like, damn, that's Gru.
Maybe.
His line during the reception that was also part of the Uncorked that I had never seen before, where he just screams out, "Death, you are my bitch lover."
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
So he's at the table, and then you've got crazy ass Zach.
Sack.
Zach.
Is it Zach or Sack?
Sack.
I thought it was Zach until I physically looked it up
Oh
yesterday.
my
It
God,
is Sack. Sack.
It's
Which
sack
makes
of potatoes.
this how about that sack lunch thing makes it so much worse.
What was that? Okay, that scene is very similar to the scene in where it's a
Oh yeah, Easy A.
Yeah.
Where he's the beaver chewing on the log.
Because I couldn't put my finger on it when he did it. I was like, where else have I seen this before?
We should do a TikTok where it's like, show me 2 clips that give off the same energy.
So at all this is like going on, right? Like you've got John trying to flirt with Claire. You've got Sack who is trying to like
Not shit
diminish.
himself.
Yeah. John. Then you've got poor Jeremy. So in the scene, I want to know if they put like a sock, but like literally Isla Fisher, aka Gloria, is rubbing down on like she's even doing this with his balls. Like it is a lot. And
It's
he is trying
aggressive.
so it
Yeah.
is. And Jeremy is trying his best to like keep his composure. So just hearing his like ad libs as people are having other conversations, you're just like, what the hell is going on?
And Todd has taken a shine to Jeremy.
Yeah. That's where he does that like creepy like
At first, I couldn't remember if it was John or Jeremy, but like he smiles because like John says really nice things to him. And so I'm thinking it's John, but it's actually Jeremy that he falls for. Then Grandmama over there is calling him
Derogatory word for a gay person.
yes. And that's when Kathleen's like, it's time to send mommy to bed. Oh
do
my
it myself,
God.
asshole. He's just unhinged.
Oh my God. And it's so wild because later grandma, when Jeremy, after being sexually abused at the table, goes back to his room, sees grandmama laid out in his bed, and he's like
a
what
corpse.
the fuck? And so when he's like tapping her, she's like, oh, Mr. President, like what? So clearly she has something going on with
or did in the past
or with the president.
Yeah.
Anywho, she's like, what the hell are you doing in here? And he's like, you're in my bed. And she's like, well, I'm too tired to walk. Carry me to my bed. And it's just like this poor man is being abused by these people. And just as he's walking her to the bed, this is what you guys were talking about when Randolph is like, the daughter, now the grandma, you're sick.
I could get the dog out of the back for you too.
Well, that's happening because during dinner, John has put eye drops in Sack's water, so now he's got the shits. He's gone. He's going to run upstairs, go put on his kids so he can go for a walk.
Yeah.
And as he does this, here comes
Kitty
cat. Okay, so Kathleen comes in and she's been like hitting on him this whole time. And she takes off her shirt and she's like, touch them. They're real. Or no, she goes, I just got my tits done. And she's like, my husband doesn't care about my tits. And she's like, touch them. And he's like, ma'am. She's like, touch them. And so he does.
What I love about the scene, apparently Owen Wilson was nervous about about grabbing Jane Seymour's boob. And
as he should be.
As she recounts it, he didn't really want to squeeze, or I guess, I don't know if she recounts it. He didn't really want to squeeze her breast when she was telling him to. Yeah, and she said, dude, you got to do it. It doesn't look right. Your hand looks like crab claws. Poor Owen Wilson, supposed to just trying to be respectful, but kitty
Just
cat was
grab
supposed
him.
to.
So she says, "Call me cat," and then he's like, "Okay." She's like, "Kitty cat." And I was like,
And then she's like,
Kitty cat.
and then it's like, as soon as he touches her boobs, she wraps him up and she looks offended and she's like, "You're a pervert." Wait.
I love Jane Seymour so much in this movie. She is just, I think after being like prim proper Dr. Quinn for so many years, to get like a highly comedic role where you could just do whatever the fuck you wanted probably was super liberating for her.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. She was really fun in that. But what I love is that after John experiences that, he walks by and Todd is like, did mom make you touch her tits? And like the way he says it, John's like, "Excuse me." And I think when John says, "Excuse me," he expects Todd not to say it again. He's like, "Did mom ask you to touch her tits?" Like, he's like, "You heard me the first time." Oh
Can't
my
tell Dad.
God. Yeah.
And Todd is painting the painting behind me of
That-
Jeremy.
So that's
He did
like
that work really fast.
That's like a full story because that wasn't in the uncorked version.
Oh,
So seeing that, I'm
wasn't?
like, oh, that makes sense now. They like delivered this painting. Yeah.
Ah.
interesting.
So yeah, and I feel like the scene with Gloria and Jeremy was much longer in the uncorked version than
Mhm.
the theatrical version
Yeah.
because essentially she ties him up and rapes him.
Yeah.
And then
Ah.
and then who comes in? Christopher Walken's Todd
No,
comes
Todd
in.
comes in
Todd first.
And Todd's like, "I know, like, I want you to be,
Let's
we're
play
gonna be
tummy sticks.
And he's like, "I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that." Like, get off me. Go back in the closet, get in the closet, get in the closet.
He's like,
is
I'll jump out when
so-
it's time at the
Like,
right time.
don't.
And then the senator or the secretary of treasury walks in and is like telling him all about his family and stuff, and Todd's like trying to creep out of the closet.
Like, no. But what I love is that the dad doesn't even think it's weird that this man is fully tied up to the bedpost.
He like checks the tightness of the rope.
I appreciate that he was
up,
like inspecting the quality of the knots.
Which he knows his daughter did it, and because he's a sailor, he's probably very proud that she did sailing knots or whatever.
Oh God, it's so wrong and so fucking funny.
He looks at the painting too, and it's like he like clocks it, and he's like almost like, yeah, I'm not surprised by that either. Like, this kind of thing. And I'm just like, what? Oh my gosh.
And then is it the next morning, John is just skipping into the kitchen, full spread. He's sitting down eating. Jeremy comes downstairs and he's like, I've had the worst night ever. I've had Gloria tie me up and doing things unwillfully to me. I've had Todd sneak into my bed and talk about tummy sticks. I am not speaking to you right now. And John's like, it's a glorious morning. Look at all this food. Eat all of this food. And then there's like a throwaway line about Jeremy loving maple syrup and putting it on everything. And I'm like, was that the inspiration for Buddy the Elf putting maple syrup on everything?
Oh, maybe. A lot of inspiration from this movie, apparently.
I can pull him out all day.
But here again, Jeremy he's been traumatized, and John don't give a goddamn. He don't care.
He's been assaulted.
It's like, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm so upset. I'm gonna sit over here in silence.
He just sits at the counter with his back to John. He doesn't even leave the room.
His plate is overflowing with shit too, which is crazy. Oh my God. And so he's like, okay, fine, I will come with you, whatever. And I think they go sailing on this day.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Claire realizes that John don't know shit about sailing, but she teaches him some stuff, whatever. He has a good moment with her dad. And there is a scene, though, where Claire, the scene pissed me off, where Claire goes to go check on Sock's gonna call him Sec, who is literally hugging the toilet. And she asks him, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "What the fuck? Of course I'm not okay, Claire. Do you not see that I'm throwing up? Like, could you just go get me a soda? Jesus." Like, so disgusting. And she doesn't cuss him out. She don't slap him. She don't put baby oil on the floor and beat him with a belt. Nothing.
That's a very specific scenario.
Yeah.
Well, that's a reference clearly none of you guys have seen this Christmas, so
sorry. But she does say it's okay to be vulnerable. Like, she tries to get through to him, and he's just like very misogynistic, like, don't want to hear it, alpha male, roided out. He's like roided out Barry. He's roided out Sack.
Yeah, 100%.
And what else?
He shows his roided outness when they come back from sailing, because he now has hunting gear. He has taken a call separately to call one of his homeboys and is like, "Yo, I need you to look up these dudes who say they're venture capitalists." And what I don't understand is that he has given his friend 0 pictures. So, like, it would be one thing to say, yeah, these people don't exist, but to be able to say, like, oh, they're not who they say they are, they're actually wedding crashers. Like, how does he find that out about them?
Right.
In like a really short amount of time too.
Without,
I want to say like by the end of the day it comes out.
Without access to the internet like we have access to the internet.
Right. Also, this actor David Conrad, who plays the friend, is on a few episodes of Roswell. Just have to throw that out there. I met him in real life, actually. I have a picture with him. I will give it to you for the episode. Saw him in New York, and I was dying. Didn't care what else this man has ever been in. Not this movie, nothing else. You were on a few episodes of Roswell, so we locked in.
And we see, it must be like a day or two of like Claire and John hanging out. They go bike riding. It seems like Claire doesn't know how to ride a bike very well. That was confusing to me. Like, she kept falling off of it. I don't know. It was
I feel like this is also like the 3rd or 4th movie where Rachel McAdams is riding a bike in a movie. Because she rides it in The Notebook, and I feel like she may in Midnight in Paris. Just a funny little thought. So they go hunting. When they get off the boat from sailing, Sack is like, "Oh, we need to go hunting," and Claire's like, "Aren't you sick?" He's like, "No, we gotta go." So they get their hunting gear. John has never hunted a thing in his life, and you could see Sack with his cronies like, "Oh, he's gonna shoot this man, right? And pretend it's an accident." But what he doesn't see coming is that because John doesn't know how to shoot, when he shoots, he flies back. And so when he's ready to, when Sack is ready to shoot, he actually shoots Jeremy in the butt. And these aren't just like, these are buckshot. Yeah. So there's all these fragments in this poor man's ass at this point. Poor Gloria has to pick it out one by one.
She's excited.
Yeah.
I'm truly surprised they didn't turn that into like a sexual scene as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, no, like that's too far.
Yeah.
Maybe, like pegged him or something.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And so Jeremy has had it. He's just over this whole thing. And John is the one that comes clean to the family at dinner though, right? Is it John or Jeremy?
Jeremy tells the priest.
That's right.
He's like, it was confession.
Pours him like the tallest glass of whiskey I've ever seen. He's like, grab it while it's hot. Grab it. Just like, oh.
Ken like literally was like, holy shit, that's a lot of alcohol. And the priest is sitting there smiling and nodding.
And it's not even just like the alcohol. It's like all the questions that he's ripping off of him about like his dirt. Like, do you have dirty thoughts? What do you do? He's like, well, I pray. And he's like, you hear that? He's like, oh, no.
He like the way he whispers everything is so funny.
That's the grandpa from Luck of the Irish. I had to call
Yes. He's not, is he a grandpa or is he he's a leprechaun?
Well, it's his grandfather, but he's a leprechaun, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. And because the other guy was the guy from Psych. Okay.
So now we're at dinner. All secrets are exposed. So the priest has told, was it Grandma?
Yeah, Grandma got the gun.
Yes. So Grandma's chasing them out. But John had also made the decision to come clean to Claire because he didn't want to build a relationship on lies.
Okay.
I think it was like right after Sack pretty much told everybody that they're getting married.
Yes, which was so fucking weird. Like, there's no ring. He just announces it. He obviously hasn't talked to his now fiance, which is for the course for Sack. But I'm just like, everyone's all excited. I'm like, where's the jewelry? Like, this isn't a done deal until she says yes, and then there's a ring on the finger.
Yeah.
But he was just like metaphorically peeing on Claire and claiming her as his. And so John's about to tell Claire who he is, but Sack kind of beats him to it. And Claire is just like looking to John, like pretty much like, say this isn't true, because she has now fallen for John, and he admits to everything. And so she goes back inside. John and Jeremy go back to, I don't even know what city they were in. They go back home.
DC.
That's right. They're in DC.
Yeah.
And then, but prior to them leaving, Jeremy has like this rambling monologue about Gloria. And then he's just like, I dig it. And so like, as she's going back inside and he's like, I love you, Gloria. And she was just like fawning all over his words. So now we're back in DC, and John and Jeremy now have a rift between them. And John is not taking Jeremy's calls. Did they have an argument?
No, it was like months later. It was how John was gonna like get back in with Claire because the engagement party, and Jeremy's supposed to go with him.
Yes.
And like didn't show up.
Yeah, and then Sack saw John and beat him up in the alley. And so John goes to Jeremy's house and finds out that Jeremy is still seeing Gloria. And soon thereafter, Gloria and Jeremy get engaged. And they're planning the wedding, and Jeremy keeps asking John to be the best man. John's not taking any of his calls or anything. And John ends up going to Chaz's house because he no longer has a partner to do the wedding crashing with. And so we show up to not Chaz's house, Chaz's mom's house. And Chaz is clearly in his mid-40s. And screaming at his ma to make some meatloaf.
The meatloaf.
And John is kind of quickly realizing that Chaz is not all that Jeremy has built him up to be.
Right.
And so then we get Chaz explaining that funerals are where it's at now. And a lady comes downstairs, a hot lady, and she leaves, and John's like, wow. And Chaz is like, yeah, she's the widow. And John's just like, the fuck? Like, what? But that doesn't stop him from going to funeral crashing with Chaz, where he realizes that this is not it.
Right.
Does anything specific happen to make John show up at the wedding?
Yeah, he goes and sees that funeral and is like, this shit is crazy. And I think it just clicks for him that he needs to be with his friend, and he's been a shitty person pretty much. He definitely doesn't have any verbalization of it.
Yeah.
it was kind of like that inner realization of like absolute rock bottom.
Yeah. But yet again, this shows him being a shitty friend because you're fucking late to my wedding and you interrupt the wedding multiple times so that you can get your girl at my wedding. Like, you
While I'm
couldn't
at the
wait till
altar.
afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till the fucking reception. Like,
Right.
all eyes on me.
Right. For at least a wedding. Like, have
Yeah.
that courtesy. Come on. You've been to enough of them. You claim to love weddings.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But Jeremy, again, like, supports him because Sack comes up and is about to punch John in the face, and Jeremy just, like, knocks him the fuck out.
I think that was him being a good friend, but
Yes.
also, bitch, you done shot me in my ass and you try to play me at football, so it's due time. And now
this
you're
is
not
my
my
wedding.
sister-in-law. You're not my sister-in-law's fiance anymore, so now I can give you the hammer for real.
Yeah. And then after, it doesn't seem like they even go to the reception.
Right. I was going to say, is there not a reception for this wedding?
I'm sure everyone's enjoying a very lovely time while they drive away.
They decided they're going to do some wedding crashers business with the girls. So yeah, and Claire makes up a story. I'm like, y'all are a bunch of liars, lying liars.
Well, and I'm like, these girls have to be at least in like the DC area well known. You can't just roll up to a random wedding and not the two of you side by side too, and not have people be like, wait a minute, aren't you, isn't your daddy the Secretary of Treasury?
Right.
And I think we've covered everything. That is Wedding Crashers. Wahoo.
All right, Andrew, ready to dive into some of these fun facts?
Yes.
I think it's funny that Rachel McAdams listened repeatedly to Fleetwood Mac's Landslide to prepare herself for emotional scenes. And Owen Wilson said that the song made her cry immediately. It was like turning on a faucet. And I was like, were there that many scenes where she needed to be emotional?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Maybe
I was
they
good.
were cut. I don't know. I don't think there's any one song, and it just could be because I am emotionally void. I don't think there's any one song that will like make me cry when I listen to it.
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan song.
I think
not even in the arms of an angel.
I have a list of questions Jackie needs to ask a therapist, and this is another one. I have so many songs that make me cry.
I do not.
So, not really surprising, but a real wedding planner was kept on the set to make sure the wedding and the moving looked as like real as possible.
I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, you could definitely see it. Like they went through the kind of cadences of it and like the setup areas, and the dance floor seemed appropriately staged.
And even like how the tables were situated around the dance floor. In a lot of movies, it's just like a few tables sprinkled in the background and then like a giant ass dance floor. So I appreciate the authenticity.
Yeah, like everybody sitting at the table can visibly see the dance floor easily, and everybody cutting up the rug.
Following complaints from the U.S. Congress, the producers of the film yanked from the movie's official website a printable Purple Heart advertised as a gimmick to pick up women and get free drinks. Which I also read that is highly illegal to do, is brandish a medal that you did not earn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, Isla Fisher used a body double for her nude scenes. She told Entertainment Weekly that the film's producers wanted her to be naked for 5 scenes, but she managed to talk them down to just 1. And then Fisher clarified that she thought it was too difficult for women to be deemed funny once the audience has seen their breasts. and thought that her appearing nude would compromise the comedic quality of her performance. The producers disagreed and deemed nudity essential to the plot.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. And you know, one of the things I loved about Sinners, it's not a comedy, but that they were able to show sexual scenes and heat and just whatever without any of the women having to be naked.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that because I don't think it's necessary all the time, really and truly. But they just wanted tits and ass because apparently that's really funny, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you have to cater to the bros that are going to watch a Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell movie.
I guess. Andrew, do you think it's like, does it do something more when there's a bunch of tits? I could see like young teen boys, but like as an adult?
No. Like,
Danielle, that's a loaded question.
Well, so like even rewatching this and like seeing that beginning scene, I'm like, oh yeah, like they like really went hard on this. Okay, like I could have got the gist of just like a girl in a bra falling onto the bed, like that they were going to do that, or like even them just like I don't. They could have been fully clothed falling onto a bed, and you would have got the insinuation.
Yeah.
But
I like diversity in boobs, and in these movies, it's always like the same sized fake boobs.
Yeah.
So like when they were falling back, yes, only fake boobs will just stay in that position. I want to see a tit go right and one go left. That, you know, I want naturally big boobs. I want to see little bitties. Like, let me see. If you're going to do this, do it right.
Yeah. Diversity always.
Yes.
What's kind of crazy to me is that if they wanted Isla Fisher to do 5 nude scenes, they didn't show Jane Seymour naked though.
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm like, wait, why is it one but not the other?
Because they can't, if you're going to maintain only young plastic looking women of like what's the idea of attractiveness, a woman in her 50s and 60s, her tits apparently are not like sexy. Yeah. So they're not going to show that. Oh, she's classy. Like we can't show that. But really it's just we're not trying to like show that women who are older are sexy because then that would throw everything off. Yeah. We would die. Danger, Mr. Robinson.
And Rachel McAdams got her certification in sailing to prepare for her role. She says she can now handle a 26-foot sailboat.
Random, but okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it, girl.
I thought I found a continuity error because when he was like, the boom needs to go starboard. And I was like, he's pushing it the wrong way. But I was looking at the boat the wrong way. I thought the rudder or the not the steering wheel, that thing was at the front for some reason. And Ken's like, no, like he just looked at me like I was super dumb. He's like, port is left, 4 letters. I'm like, I know that. I've been on cruise ships. I've learned that. It's wrong, but I was wrong. So that was my argument mid movie.
I didn't know you knew shit about yachting. Look at you.
Look at me. I could be making so much more money.
Diving into your white culture. I love to see it. And it's good to know in case we need it. I don't know when. Amazing Race, maybe? Who knows?
We may just be living on a sailboat at some point.
Waterworld, you say? Right. Might as well drown a bitch. Can't do it. I know we're 2 water signs, but that's not gonna make it. It's just not. Before we jump into our ratings, our present day ratings, just want to remind you, follow us on Instagram. Everything else, I just don't care right now. Follow us on Instagram. No more late fees. And if you have done that already, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Threads, Blue Sky, you know it. We're so close to 10K. It's actually embarrassing at this point.
Come on. Well, now we're best friends with Mahendra and Brendan Fair. So
yeah, I know.
We're going to get more followers.
This is the storyline in my head. I see it's ricocheted to you, and I love that for us. Andrew, what is your present day rating of Wedding Crashers?
It's going to be Woodbye again. Again, like I think it really. I'm not going to say it was because I hadn't seen the uncorked version and watched it this time, but God, it's so good. Like I could probably go watch it again right after this.
Jackie?
I'd buy it again. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
You know, rewatching, I was expecting it to be problematic in every way. Because clearly the time frame and any comedies don't usually hold up. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that there weren't too many things that made me cringe. I do think that John is a horrible friend, but that has nothing to do with anything else. And I laughed still. So it's still a would buy for me. I will leave it at that. So you could breathe easy now, Jackie.
I'm very happy. I feel like we haven't had very many. We've only had 3
this year.
Yeah. Employee picks for 2020.
Were there any that were close and one of us threw it off? And when I say one of us, I mean you.
Yes. Friday, because I had never seen it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uncultured.
And then I gave it a whoopsie. Well, if you have any opinions or just want to let us know what your favorite song to dance to at a wedding is, hit us up at our quick drop 909-601-6653. Twat us at the Twitters, hummus at the threads, butterfly in the sky at blue sky, and you could be featured on a future episode. And happy birthday to my mama, Miss Terry. We love you so much. Thank you for supporting the podcast, even though you don't listen. But you send us money every week or every month, so we love you.
Love you so much, Mama, Mamacita. Love you. You're the best.
How did you manage to throw a Love Island quote in there?
I gotta fit it in where I can, my friends. And knowing your mom that she only watches clips on TikTok, she knows what I'm talking about.
Probably.
Join us next week as Jackie and I dive into some film called Chill Factor. I'm not going to pretend I'm happy, but I may be pleasantly surprised.
And I haven't watched that movie since.
I know you're leading us astray.
So, I mean... You don't know that, Danielle.
I do.
I remember it was just a fun action romp. And
it's Cuba Gooding Jr. and Skeet Ulrich. I know we're going down a dark path.
We'll see. And Andrew, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We had a blast and look forward to what movie you'll choose next season.
So much fun every time.
And as always, be kind and rewind.